We will look at this poor guy here to avoid setting negative goals. The devil is in the detail. What language do you use to explain something? Be careful that you pick words well, because if you pick the wrong ones, it might be quite counterproductive. You need to use words that are positive, constructive, and the words that help you see solution and see the way. So let's say you work with a goal which is to prevent jumping too much into the hole, as I have heard leaders say in Systematic. Then you want to rephrase it to something like, I want to work more tactical. Or I want to work at a more strategic level. Or I will lead proactively to secure stability. The reason for you to pick words that leads you to something and not away from something is that you get what you focus on. Your mind doesn't understand. Don't think about a white elephant. Don't think about Colgate toothpaste. However, as part of a process of making great goals, it can be a really good exercise for many leaders to think about what it is that you don't want in the beginning. We're all different, and for some people it's just easier to be clear about what you don't want instead of what you do want. So if you think that you work in this way, I will now give you time to brainstorm on what it is that you don't want. Then we can change it afterwards and rephrase it to what you do want. Brainstorm and hit pause for working time. We will now rephrase what you don't want to what you do want. I'll give you one more example. I don't want to be stressful or feel I'm in a hurry when I talk with my employees. I can then rephrase it to, I will be grounded and calm when I talk with my employees. Or, I take deep breaths, listen well, and speak in a calm pace and tone when I talk with my employees. Now you can see if you can change the words to be positive and constructive, so you will work with the brain in mind, knowing that what you do focus on is what you will get more of. Before we move on, let me just remind you that this goes for leading your people too. So it's always an important exercise to pay attention to what you will do and what you want them to do. So pay attention to avoid talking too much about what you don't want them to do. It is simply easier for them to deliver when you have done the work of being very clear and specific in your communication, because being specific about what you do want and what they should do, then it'll be easier for them to do it. Also, then you're not causing them to worry or being anxious, but being positive in your perspective. And as you might have just noticed with working with your goals, just because you know what it is that you want to avoid, that is not the same as knowing what you do want. Your employees can easily misunderstand what it is that you want if you don't explain what great looks like. We will now avoid the 3 pitfalls: set unrealistic goals, underestimate completion time, and set fluffy goals. Thousands of studies have shown that taking the time to be specific is one of the most critical steps in reaching any goal. However, it is very often overlooked. Being very specific clarifies the course of action. You know you have reached your goal when it is very specific. And it works because if you haven't reached your goal, you have little choice but to hang in there and keep going and keep trying if you want to succeed. I'm sure that you know all about the SMART model, but do you always take the time in everyday business life to use it? Do you get specific and thereby provide huge clarity for you and others? So this is where we will begin, just because checking your goals with this exercise will make them much more powerful when you use the SMART model. And as you probably know, there are variations what SMART stands for. So in this context, I have chosen that your goals should be specific, measurable, ambitious, realistic, and time-bound. I will now run you through each perspective. Throughout this quick little reminder, be sure to remember to look at all parts of your vision with goals that are connected, so you don't forget a goal. First, we'll look into specific. Your goals must be both clear and well defined, because vague or generalized goals are unhelpful since they don't provide enough direction. Remember, you need goals to show you the way. So make it as easy as you can to get where you want to go by defining precisely where you want to end up. So what does success look like? How do you know when you have succeeded? Spell out what you want to achieve in detail. I'll give you a moment to see if you can specify your goals even more with this in mind. Hit pause to work. Measurable. This includes precise amounts, dates, and so on in your goals so you can measure your degree of success. If your goals is simply defined as ask more questions, how will you know?